Hello everyone, welcome back. I got StingerBrainDump14. So part 2 of my slides I created for this. Let's jump right into it again. It's probably an old saying, jump right into it. Let's just hop in. Anyway, which of the following can affect electrostatic discharge in a network operations center? It is humidity controls. A malicious attacker has intercepted HTTP traffic and inserted an ASCII line that sets the referred URL. Which of the following is the attacker most likely utilizing? And it's a header manipulation. A company would like to prevent the use of known set of applications from being used on a company computer. Which of the following should the security administrator implement? And that is blacklisting. You're going to blacklist those applications that you don't want to be utilized on those company computers. Whereas whitelisting is stuff you're trying to approve for use. A new hire wants to use a personally owned phone to access company resources. The new hire expresses concern about what happens to the data on the phone when they leave the company. Which of the following portions of the company's mobile device management configuration would allow the company data to be removed from the device without touching the new hire's data? And that is B, device access control. A consultant has been tasked to assess a client's network. The client reports frequent network outages. Upon viewing the spanning tree configuration, the consultant notices that an old and law-performing edge switch on the network has been elected to be the root bridge. Which of the following explains this scenario? And that is C. The switch has spanning tree loop protection enabled. An organization is trying to decide which type of access control is most appropriate for the network. The current access control approach is too complex and requires significant overhead. Management would like to simplify the access control and provide user the ability to determine what permissions should be applied to files, documents, and directories. The access control method best satisfies these objectives is discretionary access control. Basically, you're giving them the discretion as to what basically to make that kind of file, like what kind of permissions should apply to each of those files and folders and documents and directories. While reviewing the security controls in place for web-based application, a security control assessor notices that there is no password strength requirements in place. Because of the vulnerability, passwords might be easily discovered by using a brute force attack. Which of the following password requirements most effectively improve the security posture of the application against these attacks? Select 2. Now remember, we're going just for the brute force attacks. Minimum complexity and minimum length. A security administrator determined that users within the company are installing unapproved software. The company policy dictates that only certain applications may be installed or ran on the user's computers without exception. Which of the following should the administrator do to prevent all unapproved software from running on the user's computer? And that is create an application whitelist and use operating system controls to enforce it. The security administrator is tasked with implementing centralized management of all network devices. Network administrators will be required to log onto the network devices using their LDAP credentials. All command executed by network administrators on network devices must fall within a preset list of authorized commands and must be logged to a central facility. Which of the following configuration commands should be implemented to enforce this requirement? And that is CN company, CN com, OU, net admin, DC, EC 1932.10.233. A website administrator has received an alert from an application designed to check the integrity of a company's website. The alert indicated that the hash value for a particular MPEG file has changed. Upon further investigation, the media appears to be the same as it was before the alert. Which of the following methods has most likely been used? And that is steganography. Basically making it look like something else. For example, this is how they changed it, then they made it look back to how it was before. They're tricking you into looking like something else. An attacker captures the encrypted communication between two parties for a week. but is unable to decrypt the messages. The attacker then compromises the session key during one exchange and successfully compromises a single message. The attacker plans to use this key to decrypt previously captured and future communications, but is unable to. This is because the encryption scheme in use adheres to perfect forward secrecy. Many employees are receiving email messages similar to the one shown below. From IT department to employee, subject email quota exceeded. Please click on the following link, yada yada yada. Upon reviewing the serial messages, the security administrator realizes that all the phishing URLs have been following common elements. They are all using HTTP, all of them come in if.info domains, and they all contain the same URL. Which the following should the security administrator configure in the corporate content filter to prevent users from accessing phishing URL, while at the same time minimizing false positives. That is D. Deny http://.info email yada yada yada. So we're just grabbing this part right here. Security analyst is reviewing the following packet capture of an attack directed at a company's server located in the demilitarized zone. Which following ACLs provide the best protection against the above attack and any further attacks from the same IP, while minimizing service interruption. And that is actually C, deny IP from 192.168.1.100, right here. We're just going to deny all that right there. 2 zeros. The IT department needs to prevent users from installing untested applications. Which of the following would provide the best solution? Least privilege. An attack that is using interference as its main attack to impede network traffic is which of the following? That is using a similar wireless configuration of a nearby network, also known as evil twin? An organization wants to conduct secure transactions of large data files. Before encrypting and exchanging the data files, the organization wants to ensure the secure exchange of keys. Which of the following algorithms is appropriate for securing the key exchange? And that is the Diffie-Hellman. And a college professor was recently reprimanded for posting disparaging remarks regarding her coworkers on a website, and stated that she was not aware that the public was able to view her remarks. Which of the following security-related trainings could have made Anne aware of repercussions of her actions? That is, use of social networking. During a recent audit, it was discovered that many services and desktops were missing security patches. Which of the following best describes the assessment that was performed to discover this issue? That was a vulnerability scan. When generating a request for a new X.509 certificate for running or securing a website, which of the following is the most appropriate hashing algorithm? That is SHA. Administrator installs database software to encrypt each field as it is written to a disk. Which of the following describes the encrypted data? And that is at rest. It's sitting on a disk. It's at rest. Which of the following allows an application to securely authenticate a user by receiving credentials from a web domain? And that is DSAML. Network technician is trying to determine the source of an ongoing network-based attack. Which of the following should the technician use to view IPv4 packet data on a particular internal network segment? That is Protocol Analyzer, also known as a sniffer. Security administrator has noticed cars parking just outside the building fence line. Which of the following security measures can the administrator use to help protect the company's Wi-Fi network against war driving? Select 2. That is change antenna placement, adjust the power level controls. Basically, when changing antennas, make them more central ties towards the building. Adjust the power levels of those antennas. Make sure that it's not going that far out. Security administrator suspects that data on a server has been exfiltrated as a result of unauthorized remote access. Which of the following would assist the administrator in confirming the suspicions? Select 2. And it's DLP alerts and log analysis. Company is deploying a new voice-over internet protocol phone system. They require almost 100% uptime for their phone service and are concerned about their existing data network interfering with the VoIP phone system. The core switches in the existing data network are almost fully saturated. Which of the following options will provide the best performance and ability for both the VoIP traffic as well as traffic on the existing data network? It's A. Put the VoIP network into a different VLAN than the existing data network. Have them separated from the computers. A server administrator needs to administer a server remotely using RDP, but the specified port is closed on the outbound firewall on the network. To access the server using RDP on a port other than a typical registered port for the RDP protocol. TLS. Which of the following can be used to control specific commands that can be executed on a network infrastructure device? It's TACAX Plus. Company XYZ has decided to make use of the cloud-based service that requires mutual certificate-based authentication with its users. The company uses SSL inspecting intrusion detection system and its network boundary and is concerned about the confidentiality of the mutual authentication. Which of the following model prevents the IDS from capturing credentials used to authenticate users to the new service or keys to decrypt the communication? And that is the use of Active Directory federation between the company and the cloud-based service. 6 months in development, the core team assigned to implement a new internal piece of software must convene to discuss a new requirement with the stakeholders. Stakeholders identify a missing feature critical to organization, which must be implemented. The team needs to validate the feasibility of the newly introduced requirement and ensure it does not introduce new vulnerabilities to the software and other applications that will integrate with it. Which of the following best describes what the company desires? I don't know. I didn't really finish that sentence. But the answer is the system analysis phase of the SSD SLC. You're analyzing, basically. Remember that part. A company is investigating a data compromise where the data exfiltration occurred. Prior to investigation, the supervisor terminates an employee as a result of suspected data loss. During the investigation, the supervisor is absent for the interview and little evidence can be provided from the role-based authentication system in use by the company. The situation can be identified for future mitigation as which of the following? And that is log failure. The security administrator needs an external vendor to correct an urgent issue with the organization's physical access control system, PACS. The PACS does not currently have internet access because it is running a legacy operating system. Which of the following methods should the security administrator select the best balance of security and efficiency? That is a set up a VPN concentrator for the vendor and restrict access to the PACS using desktop sharing. Data Center Manager has been asked to prioritize critical system recovery priorities. Which of the following is most critical for immediate recovery? That is operating system software. You gotta make sure the operating system is back up and running like that. Without the computer, you ain't got shit. Alright? Oops, went a little too far. Which of the following techniques can bypass a user or computer's web browser privacy settings? Please select 2. So we got B and C. It's session hijacking and cross-site scripting. When designing a web-based client-server application with single application server and database cluster backend, input validation should be performed on the application server. Which of the following delineates why it is important to perform egress filtering and monitoring on the internet-connected security zones of interfaces on a firewall? It's because outbound traffic could be communicating to known botnet sources. The help desk is receiving numerous password change alerts from users in the accounting department. These alerts occur multiple times on the same day for each of the affected user accounts. Which of the following controls should be implemented to curtail this activity? That is password minimum age. Which of the following would enhance the security of accessing data stored in the cloud? Please select 2. That is SAML authentication and multi-factor authentication. Remote user 1 is unable to reach a newly provisioned corporate Windows workstation. System administrator has been given the following log files from the VPN, corporate firewall, and workstation host. Which of the following is preventing the remote user from being able to access the workstation? Take a good look at all these files right here. It's kind of hard to probably see once things blow up on a TV, but alright, our answer is user 1 has been locked out due to too many failed password attempts. As you can see right here, just failures. Failure. Authentication succeeded. Descended. Idle timeout. Boom. Alright guys, I'm going to cancel out this video. Go to the next one.